welcome to the Regular Joe's Podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
Rest in peace, Raquel Welch. Starting right there.
Oh, my God. You talk about your 60s icon. You know,
I didn't see that coming.
And Todd texted a picture of her before, and I hadn't been online or seen anything, so I didn't know she passed. I just thought he was sending us a picture of Raquel Welch, and then like 2 hours later, I read the shit.
I saw it a couple places.
I had seen it by then, but
I mean, what I texted was a picture from Fantastic Voyage and 1 Million Years BC, and I was asking what is your, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of her? And mine is not either of those two things, but you guys both said 1 million years BC with the.
Well, but I didn't know what you were asking though. I just thought when you said those two pictures, which one was the one we preferred? I know what you're going to say yours is, and that was probably mine as well.
Oh, I'm curious.
You know?
And I don't know if I saw.
I bet I know yours because you've told me this story before.
No, I don't think so. But
no, okay.
But are you thinking Mork and Mindy?
No.
Okay. So
she was in Mork and Mindy.
She was in Mork and Mindy. She was like this. She was like this space queen who kidnapped him, and she had this like 50s. Oh, really? You got to look it up. It's awesome. She had this like 50s sci-fi outfit.
Oh, that's cool.
It was really cool. And no, mine is 100 Rifles.
Oh, so. Okay. That's not what I was thinking you were going to say.
Yeah.
Mine, and it's a weird choice, but I think it's the first thing I'd ever seen of her. Is Mother Jugs and Speed.
I knew you were going to say that. I remember that in the theaters.
Yeah, and I remember seeing it on HBO. I think after that, I probably saw Fantastic Voyage.
Yep.
And I actually just recently watched Fantastic Voyage.
I just recently watched it too. I remember seeing that in like grammar school. They showed that to us, I think.
I didn't see the other one. I'm more familiar with that picture from Shawshank Redemption than I am from seeing the actual movie.
Me too. I know that image, but I don't know if I've ever seen that movie.
I don't think I have either.
Also, The Sons of Katie Elder. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, that's from the Mork and Mindy episode. You got to look that up.
Yeah, look it up, people, because Todd's showing us pictures online, but you can't see those.
You can't see those. And yowza. That was like, yeah. So.
She always looked great. I mean, she was talented, obviously, too, but even in her late years, still looked great. And it said she died after a brief illness, which I wonder if that's COVID or something. That's too bad. She was only 82. I mean, these days that's a little on the young side.
These days it feels young, but I hadn't heard until not that long, a couple hours ago I heard about it. So
so
in 100 Rifles, through most of the film, she has a very unbuttoned shirt. And it was, like I said, very early for me, but it was like, whoa. And I have very acute memories of that.
Well, unfortunately, I think that is really most of the type of roles she was
cast in. Oh, there's no question about that. But she worked it to her best advantage, and that was her thing. She was a sex symbol. That was it. And she was.
Yeah, I feel like she was one of the first ones that really.
She was, yes. And
I mean, there were earlier, but I mean, of like 60s, 70s,
I will say that,
before it exploded into the Charlie's Angels and all that.
Exactly. And I think she was, but she's really one of the most 60s iconic ones. I mean, it's
oh, for sure. For sure.
She kind of
she was in Seinfeld too.
Yeah. And
she was in the original Bedazzled too.
She was? Who was the guy? Was it Dudley Moore?
Let me look.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she was in that. Let's see. It was Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. Oh. Yeah, Dudley Moore was in it.
Yes.
And she played Elizabeth Hurley
She
role?
played a character called Lillian Lust.
In Mork and Mindy, she was Captain Nirvana.
Oh, Jesus.
Yep.
If you look at her IMDb, it's interesting because they have a lot, like all the movie posters look very similar. And it's all her in a bikini, her in lingerie, her in a fur bikini.
I actually had a poster of her in a brown bikini that was probably like 70s era, and so
she was in a movie called Fuzz in 1972, and the poster it's a painting of her in a bikini with a gun. Just like
no, there was a lot of bikini there, but it was very.
Oh, that's a Burt Reynolds movie. It's Burt Reynolds lying on the ground naked with a towel over him, and her with a gun in a bikini.
And 100 Rifles was also Burt Reynolds. So
now I want to see the Fuzz.
Yep.
Tom Skerritt was in Fuzz with her. Interesting.
Anyway, rest in peace. She definitely is one of the original sex symbols. At least from
she
my
had a profound
point of view.
Impact on me, I would just say. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go random while we can still keep our minds straight here. Barry, what do you got?
Have either of you guys heard of a 1/6 scale figure company called InArt? It's also
familiar.
They're it's hard to find them online. There is a company called Queen Studios, and they have this line of figures under the brand InArt.
Queen Studios has done statues before.
They've made a bunch of things. What caught my eye, and by the way, if you go to their website, it just tells you on every product listing not available in your country. So they're not licensed to sell in the U.S. directly. But they've got an Aragorn figure from Lord of the Rings that looks so lifelike it's scary. I'm texting you guys a picture to take a look at. But what's really interesting about what they're doing is they're doing two versions. They're doing a standard version and a premium version. The standard version has plastic hair, and the premium version has rooted hair.
Oh.
And then the other interesting thing is if you buy in the first wave of their release, it's considerably cheaper than if you buy in the second wave. It's almost like if you buy in early and don't wait for the reviews, you get a discount. So as an example, the standard version of Aragorn from Lord of the Rings is $301.77 US in the first wave, $380 in the second wave. And then the rooted hair version is essentially $145 more than the plastic hair version.
That's a lot of money.
It's an interesting business model for sure. I don't know. I've never bought any of their stuff. They've got a Gandalf that looks unbelievable. They've got other characters from other lines too. It's an interesting company. The fact is that you can't get any of it in the U.S. is also kind of intriguing to me. Just like, why is it that they don't have the rights to sell anything in the U.S.? But I don't know. Interesting. It's something. It's a company to keep an eye on, I think, because they've got a bunch of licenses. They're doing Marvel stuff. They're doing that. They're doing that. They've got I don't know some other figures from other lines.
There's a Black Widow in the white snowsuit figure here that is absolutely amazing. So,
yeah, I mean, I had never really heard of these guys, and I just kind of stumbled upon it.
Maybe it's only licensed somewhere else or whatever. That's weird, though.
It's possible. So anyway, just something to keep. They've got some DC figures. They got a Joker that looks pretty amazing, but I don't know, something to keep an eye on. Anyway, I just I wasn't sure if either of you had ever heard of them, so I figured I'd bring it up.
They did a Christian Bale Catwoman figure with the Bat Pod that is incredible, and you should Google that and look at that. It's amazingly lifelike, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
What do you got?
So as we record this, it is Wednesday, which means we are very possibly one day away from a reality where Picard doesn't suck. So I'm just saying, I am clinging to that hope.
I'm hopeful.
I don't know that I'm going to get a chance to watch it till the weekend. Just letting you guys know that in case the text messages start flying.
Okay. So I'll just say you might get a text message that say doesn't suck. It might be, but that's
I'm
what
fine
I'm
with that.
hoping for.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that, to be quite honest. So
it's.
I think it's going to be good. I'm being optimistic.
Yeah, me too.
Peripheral's getting season 2.
Yep.
That's good.
Well, that's good because it kind of ended on a cliffhanger.
What else?
Oh, that was all you had?
No, I was going to go, but I didn't want to go to another one. That's not appropriate. Todd wants to say something. Hello, hi. He's waving at us.
He's waiting
it's
for
the
his
garage door. We hear it. Don't worry about it.
It's okay.
I can't cut this out now anyway.
Not a big deal.
Okay.
All right, I'll go to another one. This is a quick one, but I guess this was over the weekend. Kevin Feige said all of Marvel Studios films we've done since Avengers Endgame, of all the movies we've done since Endgame, Quantumania is the one that connects most to the biggest picture of the bigger picture of the MCU. So we're all seeing this movie at some point in the next few days. We'll talk about it on the next show. But I went into this with very low expectations, and my expectations have been building slightly as we've gotten closer to it. I've been saying for a while,
I think this is going to be a big one. I'll also say probably in the same interview, he again talked for this boggles my mind. He talked for like a minute and a half about Fantastic Four and said nothing. And it just astonishes me that we're like 3.5 years into this project and there are no details whatsoever. They're going to start shooting in 2024. It's going to be out in February 2025, supposedly. And
it's a lifetime.
But I'm just saying, it's like, they have been teasing and talking about this thing. And now it's going to be the thing that brings everything together, and this is one of the most significant things that in Marvel.
It has to be, because what they got left is not anything special.
But it feels like he says that about, and that was kind of my point in even bringing this up about Ant-Man. It feels like he kind of says that as every next movie comes out, like, oh, this is the next biggest thing. Like,
but it's
I'm
not
coming
sure
out,
and that's my point, Barry. It's one thing to be hyping the thing when you have the thing, but to hyping the thing when you haven't announced casting yet. When you're trying to build expectations,
but everyone cares about that's what everyone's waiting for, so you got to keep teasing it. That makes sense.
Yeah, boy.
And I do feel like, Ant-Man has to be something. I mean, the last Thor wasn't, good or bad, it didn't really tie into anything. It didn't bring anything together. I guess Doctor Strange did.
It kind of did.
But it still didn't feel like an Infinity War.
Wakanda Forever didn't
or
really
anything.
It kind of did what it needed to do, but it doesn't really tie into much of the bigger mythology.
What didn't?
Wakanda Forever.
Oh, totally didn't. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, that was a stage setting thing.
So none of the three past movies, certainly the last two. So this one's sort of, it has this Kang guy in it, so it definitely has to set something up. I have every confidence in Paul Rudd. I have no confidence in Evangeline Lilly's hair at all. And I don't understand.
I also think tonally, this is going to be a very different Ant-Man film. I think this is going to be a much darker film, and I think it's going to be a much grimmer film.
It's probably going to be.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the first one that has real stakes in it. And I've loved the first two Ant-Man movies.
And they were kind of standalones, you know?
They were.
You could have seen those in there on their own, and they didn't need to tie into anything.
You're right.
else.
They were totally like they were the movies in between the bigger story.
But even
now this is the bigger story.
In Infinity War, Endgame. In Endgame, there was still a kind of a comedic thing that hung on him.
Yeah, he was definitely comedic.
Okay. And I think we're going to see very little of that.
We probably have to, because when you really think about it, of all the big players that are still on the field, to use a football reference, and we'll get there later, there's no one left. Let's take Thor's the biggest one. Let's take him out because he's doing his own thing. The Guardians are doing their own thing. There's no Captain America. There's no Iron Man.
There is a Captain America, but yeah.
There's no Captain America that's tied to this stuff. There's no, Black Widow. Is he the biggest thing that's sort of still left that ties back into the old,
To your point, Spider-Man is sidelined. Okay, it is him and Doctor Strange. That's it.
Yeah, it's Doctor Strange, and so that's really it. So
yep.
We'll see you in a few days.
And as Doctor Strange said, various insect-themed heroes. Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll see if Wanda comes back and Vision come back into play at some point. But
they were peripheral characters or secondary characters. I think Ant-Man's. I think
we got to think. Well, then you got Captain Marvel also. But
Captain Marvel, who I love her to be in this a little bit or something. I feel like she's been gone way too long.
I think it's of mainline characters who've had their own films. I think we're down to him, Doctor Strange, and Captain Marvel, because I think any future Thor stuff is on the fence right now.
Well, and we've got a Captain Marvel movie coming out this year. So
yes, which I strongly suspect is going to be a handing of the torch. So
really, she only did like one movie that she knew of.
Well,
anyway, I don't know. So what else? So I was in. Oh, God, no, I won't even dig into it. While I was displaced from my home for a couple of days, I had our floors refinished, and if you're doing it, don't do it. That's all I'm saying. So we're 2 weekdays, which is fine because I sat in a hotel room and did work because I had to work, and that's fine. On the weekends, we're like, we got to find stuff to do. So we literally went to 2 different malls, which we don't go and walked around. And one of the malls that's close by here, this is trying to make a short story long, is like one of these horrible, depressing malls that has nothing but all these crappy stores. There's like nothing in it. Yet there's a sort of baseball memorabilia store that has Henry Winkler is coming in April to do a signing there.
Oh, wow.
I was like, what? Because they have baseball players and stuff, and they sell jerseys, and there's some stuff, but Henry Winkler's showing up and doing a signing at this place in Yorktown, New York.
My cousin just posted something on Facebook that Kelsey Grammer is doing a signing in a bar near where he lives in New Jersey coming up.
Really?
Yeah.
The question is, does everyone there know your name?
Well, everybody's going to know his name probably. This
is
there,
true.
But
we need Paul Reiser to do a signing like this.
yes, we do desperately.
And we're gonna have to track him down again. We almost did, and we never
pulled the trigger. Yep.
So anyway, any other rant?
Yeah, I have one more. So in a similar vein, and I texted you guys about this, but I didn't mention it on the show. So in Saratoga, New York, which is upstate New York, but not quite as far as going all the way up to Ticonderoga. But if you're going to Saratoga, you're only an hour and a half away from Ticonderoga. But anyway, in Saratoga, New York, which is also kind of in the middle of nowhere, there's an X-Files preservation museum.
I saw that. Did you send that to us?
I sent it to you a couple weeks ago. So this
I just saw it somewhere else.
Museum
too.
opened last
on
April. It's located on Route 50 in Saratoga Springs, and this July they're having a convention there.
Wait, did the person who's running its mother letting people in the basement?
I guess they're letting him in the basement. It's called X-Files Fan Fest, and it's going to have appearances by somebody named Karen Conoval. I don't know who that is. An artist named J.J. Lendl, and Annabeth Gish, who I guess was in X-Files, right?
Yeah, she was.
She was.
She was the fill-in for Scully at one point.
For Scully. So July 7th and 8th, it's for the 30th anniversary of the release of the show. I don't know. I think if we've got nothing to do, we should take. I mean, from your house, Dave, that's only like 2 hours, right?
It's probably an hour and 45 minutes, something like that. But like, first of all, the X-Files doesn't deserve that, and
well, it's also just such. Look, Ticonderoga is a far more remote place with a far better attraction. I mean, the Star Trek set tour is amazing. It's just so weird to me. The only other thing in all of Saratoga is the racetrack, the horse track.
That gets a ton of business.
Which gets a lot of business.
Huge.
And there's a really cool military museum there, but like, there's also now an X-Files museum there.
I think the Annabeth Gish thing, in the fine print said, subject to being able to kidnap her. Because that just sounds weird and creepy.
What was she just in? She was just in Barry.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen the latest season. So.
Yeah.
Really, I don't remember that.
She's in the. You saw the season, Dave?
I did, but I don't remember.
She's the dead person's wife who accidentally shoots her son in the car.
That sounds familiar.
Yep. So,
so if you're on your way to Ticonderoga this summer and you happen to be passing by, there's an X-Files museum to check out.
That is interesting. I mean, there's a lot of X-Files that doesn't suck.
There's a lot, but ultimately it's a fail.
It's just...
You know who's not a fail? Fanboy Collectibles.
We love those
Lots
guys.
of stuff available. A lot in stock. Mandalorian and Grogu deluxe set in stock. The Blurg is in stock. Queel is in stock.
So
got my Queel
so
today.
The Star Wars property that has the most Hot Toys figures is by far Mandalorian, and now it's like out of reach of everything else. It's just crazy. Yep.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I would say in aggregate, no, but the most
original
recent
No, I'm
trilogy,
saying
yeah.
if you take if you take the original trilogy, any single movie from the original trilogy, so any single property, there are more Mandalorian
Wow.
branded figures.
He's got more hours than anything
Right.
else.
Oh, I know that, but I'm saying there are more Hot Toys figures based on this.
Well, that's
than
good
any other
because
single
we
property.
love collecting them. I love collecting them. So
X06 Mirror Sulu in stock. 89 Batman Michael Keaton in
pre-order
pre-order.
and the 89 Batmobile.
He Who Will Not Be Named director movie. And the 89 Batmobile. So there's lots of stuff in stock, lots of stuff to get. Check those guys out, fanboycollectibles.com. Check them out at their store in Newtown, Connecticut. Tell them the regular Joe sent you.
And we have
Okay.
An inside track that there's some really good stuff coming in stock next week, too.
Yeah,
So
don't mention it.
I'm not mentioning any of it. I'm just saying I've heard there's some really good stuff coming next
because we
week.
have it all pre-ordered. We're not
we
just
do.
spokespeople. We are also customers.
Regular customers, yes.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, as you were warned, we watched some or all of the Super Bowl just for the commercials. At least that's what I watched. Although the pieces I did see, it was a pretty good game.
I watched the entire game, and I have to say, not being a fan in general and not really caring about either team in particular, it was an exciting game to watch.
It was an exciting game.
Yeah.
And Pam was asking me questions, and I had the answers. Like, why are they doing that? There's only 2 minutes left. Why don't they just score a touchdown? Well, because they have to stop the clock. Because in 2 minutes, they could do a lot. I'm like, I don't know why I know this
Now,
stuff.
bear in mind that I've been in a semi-NyQuil coma since Saturday. I could not tell you who won.
Oh, well, it was a very close game. It was
As I'm saying,
decided
I'm telling
down
you,
in the last
I
2
don't
minutes.
that is how disconnected from this I've been. I've watched
Yeah.
all the commercials, but
I didn't even catch all the commercials, but I did catch them.
So who
Kansas
won?
City Chiefs won, so
They
our
won,
friend
okay.
Jim Bush
oh,
is
good.
very happy.
Go
He's
Kansas
very
City.
happy, and he posted about
Go
it.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
He
But
was
they-
so happy he went to see the Blue Man Group to celebrate.
Yeah, I get that, but whatever. But they could have gotten a touchdown, but were clever enough to run the clock out and just win by a field goal. Anyway, we're just talking about the commercials. There's a lot of commercials, and Fox made an awful lot of money, the bastards that they are. We could pick out some of our favorites and then make some of the ones that we don't. I have to think, at least I know me and Barry are on the same page. Unanimously, our favorite commercial is the GM commercial with our friend Gordon Tarpley was a zombie
I think that
in it.
kind of
Yeah,
has
Gordon.
to win by default.
in the commercial.
Yeah, I mean it was a good commercial, and
He's been on the show a couple of times, right?
Yep.
he has been, and yeah, I mean we've actually
Well, I mean, we've hung out with him, but
yeah
he's also I think, been on the
he's
show.
somebody that Dave used to stalk online, and then we actually got to know him.
No, Brian was someone I stalked online.
I thought Gordon was too.
No,
No?
I didn't know who Gordon
Oh,
was
okay.
until we met Tom.
Well, Gordon's a great guy, and he's an
Oh,
amazing.
no, that's not true. I saw him when he was on Tested for his C-3PO, but I didn't really stalk
He's
him.
a great
I stalked-
maker, so follow him on social media and YouTube and all that. He makes great videos and all that. But he's a super cool guy that we have gotten to know, which is great. But yeah, he also
And
does.
He's name checked by Will Ferrell.
He's an
And he's also a sort of makeup actor. I don't know. He's like Doug Jones. If Doug Jones is like the preeminent dude, he's right there next to him.
Yep.
Yeah, he plays a lot of these like characters that you wouldn't expect. He's been a zombie in a bunch of movies and other things beyond this commercial. He played David Bowie in the Weird Al movie, which I watched the Weird Al movie and would not have even known it was him because of all the makeup
not
and
know
whatever.
that.
But so he was in this commercial and actually bites Will Ferrell while as a zombie, and then is in the car with him later. And Will Ferrell actually says his name, which was really cool.
He says, "Oh, Gordon, you killed me. Literally, you killed me."
Yeah.
But good for him. And I haven't seen it. I haven't watched it yet. But he did put a video up. Gordon put a video up on his YouTube of talking about it. So I got to watch that. I'm curious.
I need to
hear.
watch that too. And he's
Yeah.
posted a bunch of different versions of this commercial. So I think there's like 4 or 5 different versions.
There's 4 or 5 versions
Yeah.
of it. Yeah. So that one definitely gets. But what were some of your favorites?
I mean, there was
think
only
were a
one
lot
other
of
commercial
bad ones.
other than the movie trailers and stuff that that I actually thought was funny, which was the Ben Affleck Dunkin' Donuts commercial.
Oh, I
agree
love
with
that.
that. I
That's
have a little
local
check mark.
favorite for me. That's
Yeah.
that's just
That was funny.
Well, that hits all the cylinders for you, Todd. You're a Dunkin' Donuts
a Dunkin'
addict,
Donuts
first of all.
guy, and
And the Boston thing.
And
I
the
thought that
Boston
was a
thing.
great commercial.
I love that. It's like the best part, bar none, is J-Lo pulling up and saying, "This is where you're going when you say you're going to work." It's like, so good. You're embarrassing me in front of my friends. It's like, oh, that was so good.
That was funny, and it's when you see, you say to yourself, if you care, like, why is Ben Affleck married to J-Lo? Obviously, he and Jennifer Garner didn't work out, and I don't think he deserves Jennifer Garner, but that's a whole nother discussion. But at times I see Jennifer Lopez
it was really
as
just
like
a long engagement interrupted by a marriage to Jennifer Garner. But
yeah.
anyway.
First of all, if you don't follow Jennifer Garner, she's the cutest thing. She's great, but that's not what we're talking about. But you see J-Lo and you see her at the Oscars, and she's like, to me, she's like this so glam and so affected by Hollywood. But then you see her and stuff like that, and she's funny, and I like her as an actress.
I do too.
I don't know anything about her singer. I mean, she was really good in that Selena for sure,
Yeah.
but also that George Clooney movie where she was the FBI agent or whatever,
Right.
the U.S. Marshal or whatever.
I
Anyway,
actually really
but you
like that
see her.
movie.
All right,
Huh?
but so since you brought her acting up, I just have to say, so we're recording this, as Todd said, on Wednesday. Yesterday was Valentine's Day, and I decided I was going to spend my night with my lovely wife, and we were going to watch a romantic movie.
We were going to do the same thing.
So
but
we
couldn't find
ended
a
up
good romantic
watching
movie.
a movie called Shotgun Wedding, which is J-Lo and Josh Duhamel. And if she's a good actress, you wouldn't have known it from this movie. It was one of the worst, awful pieces of crap movie I've ever seen, only made enjoyable by watching it with my wife. But I will say this, while she was terrible in it, I could see why Ben Affleck married her, because, she looked spectacular, and
She's in her 50s, too.
yeah, and she was gorgeous in the movie, but not a good
But I think she's good in other stuff.
Yeah, she's been, I
think she
agree.
is, too.
She's been good.
I think she. I do think she's a good actress. It was
but
probably a crappy part.
But I think she's definitely not this, freaking glam Hollywood.
She's just Jenny
bullshit
from the
all
block,
time.
Dave.
That's right.
Come on.
Yeah,
I wish she
that's it.
was sometimes.
She used to have a little, but now she's got a lot.
Yep.
It's funny. We're like, let's watch a romantic comedy we haven't watched, and and Pam's like, we don't like romantic comedies. I'm like, that's not true. Harry Met Sally and You've Got Mail and all that's a lot of '80s ones. So there is a Reese Witherspoon and Ashton Kutcher one. We looked at the trailer for
That's
that.
the one we almost watched, but I told Maria
That didn't. We wound up watching, which wasn't a romantic comedy. Mark Wahlberg and Kevin Hart in Me Time, which was actually kind of funny.
That is funny.
We just settled on that, but anyway.
There was nothing
Okay.
funny
Another
about Shotgun
one.
Wedding.
I really liked the Breaking Bad Doritos commercial. I thought that was
Yeah, that one was good. That
That was good. It wasn't as.
It was
I felt like it.
pop chips or popcorn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
popcorn.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I have to say, I'm a huge fan of popcorners. I buy
Yeah.
them by the case at Costco, and they're awesome. So
I thought that
good.
was. I thought that one was pretty good. I'm trying to think of another one that I actually like before I get into the ones I don't like.
I thought the Hellman's one with John Hamm and Brie Larson was funny.
I didn't think that was funny. I
didn't
think
really
that was
like
a
that one.
stretch.
It was just like
Brie and Ham.
Brie and Ham. It
each
was
a-
like
yeah.
two things.
Yeah, I
just
get
like,
it, but
okay, Brie Larson was in
stupid
it.
Pete
They had me at
Davidson
Brie
was
Larson.
in
Okay.
it.
I knew it was because you like Brie Larson.
Of course.
I like her too, but not in that commercial.
Trying to think. I thought the Sam Adams wasn't a famous person. A Brighter Boston. Todd, you didn't like that?
I did
That's
like
your-
that one too. And
That was funny.
He's been doing this guy has been doing the Sam Adams
Yeah,
commercials for
your
a while.
cousin from Boston, but that
Yeah.
was funny. A Brighter Boston. I thought that was
And
actually a little
yes,
clever.
it was. Yeah.
Let's see. The Pepsi ones with Ben Stiller and Steve Martin were nothing special.
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't really. I mean, I heard that there was going to be like a Zoolander commercial, and that little scene of Zoolander wasn't enough. I love that character, but
The Bush Light ad where Sarah McLachlan broke in and started. Did you know she actually does the
Yes.
oh yeah,
for the
yeah.
wildlife preserve the wildlife commercials? I thought that was great.
No, the ASP. It was
yeah,
ASPCA.
but they just embedded that right in the thing, and then they're just like, that's a wolf, right?
My first pass at that was, first of all, I think text me or whatever if anyone in the world can actually not change the channel when the ASPCA commercial comes on, because you can't watch it.
You
it's
can't
so
watch it.
heartbreaking.
But her doing the voice and doing it exactly.
I almost thought that was
the
like
same music that they play in the ad. And
I thought that was sort of making fun of the ASPCA and the poor animals.
It was a parody of something that we all know within something.
I know,
else.
But it was funny after you watched it.
It
and
was.
She's sitting there with the wolf.
It's like, that's a wolf, right? And she was like, oh.
I'm surprised she did
liked
that.
It.
What else is she doing? I mean, no offense to the Sarah McLachlan fans, but it's not like...
Again, there wasn't a lot of cleverness. I thought that was clever.
Not that I cared even about the product or the movie, but the Alicia Silverstone doing Clueless was
it was cute.
Okay.
Well, and we had seen her at Rhode Island this past year.
A lot of celebrities in these things, and I think some of it hit and some of it missed.
Some of it makes no sense. I'm trying to see. This Budweiser 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon was narrated by Kevin Bacon was okay.
Yeah.
Nothing special. I'm trying to if there's anything. Oh, the Pringles one with the can stuck in your hand was a little funny.
Yeah, it was a little bit funny.
The rest are like... I wrote down the Jeep Electric. It was a little funny because it was the animals dancing.
Electric Boogaloo, yeah.
I got to give Jeep credit because... So we bought an electric car, and Pam wanted the electric Cadillac that was announced more than 2 years ago and still is not out. The first ads we've seen for the electric Jeep just came out, and they're already on the streets.
Yeah.
So you cannot, talk about shit 3 years before it's supposed to come out.
Well, I just saw a commercial last night for a car. I'm trying to remember what car it was, but they were announcing an electric car that was not going to be out until 2025, and it was on commercial yesterday.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay,
that's
but
ridiculous.
The thing with that is I think people are now making car decisions that long in advance. I think they're saying, okay, my next car is going to be this. And
yeah, but you can't do that. I mean, that's the thing. There were not many electric cars, and this Cadillac is still not out, and now there's a ton of electric
I'm not
cars.
justifying that. I'm saying...
Was Pam disappointed that she bought her car and now they've dropped the prices dramatically?
Yeah.
Because didn't they just drop the prices in a lot on those
Teslas? They went up, and then they came down. So they're about what she paid for it. So they went up high, and then they came back
I just
down.
have to laugh. I mean, I'm a Jeep guy. I love Jeeps. And I don't know that I would buy an electric Grand Cherokee, but the idea of there being a charging station on top of that mountain just made me laugh when I saw that commercial.
You know what I didn't realize, and they don't say, it's a hybrid. It's not a full electric.
Yeah.
Which
it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I mean, there's a lot...
There is a...
Put it this way. Most of the places that Jeep will take you can't charge. So
yeah, that's true. But they're coming out with a fully electric, something that's called a Recon.
But let's face it, Todd. They sell more Jeeps to people like me that don't take them to those places
this is
than
true,
they do.
But that's not
that's
not what they're
to those
pitching
places.
in the yeah. So let me ask you, Dave. You are in advertising. Okay, the Bud Light, the Miller Lite, Coors Light ad that was a Blue Moon ad. What the fuck? Okay,
I didn't get that, but I think they're all owned by the same company.
Coors Light is owned by the same company as
I think it's now Miller Coors.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know
they've
that.
all bought each other up.
Okay, so that's
why, that's why people didn't really understand that, and people don't know it, but they all owned by the same company. There was another.
So pretty much like Bud Light is the only one that's not owned by, because that's.
I think there's two beer companies basically.
Okay.
Miller Coors and Budweiser. And there's a ton of brands under Budweiser and a ton of brands under Miller Coors. And there was another Miller Coors...
Right, yes.
Ad. I didn't think I wrote it down. But yeah, I was confused until I started thinking, Blue Moon used to be, I think, sort of a independent brand,
right.
And then it got bought up.
Okay, did not know that.
There was a lot of... some of these, let's talk about beer commercials. The Michelob Ultra that was Caddyshack.
Terrible. How do you do Caddyshack and don't have,
Well, Rodney Dangerfield is dead.
Well, but you get a guy that sort of kind of sort of looks like Bill Murray with the hat on. Why the dude
from Succession and Serena Williams?
This is what I'm saying. You can
all.
Put anybody you want in there, but you need Bill Murray.
He wasn't going to do it. But the funny thing is that the only person who was in Caddyshack which was the lead kid, Michael, whatever his name is, was in it for like a second.
I didn't even spot him.
Yes, he was in it, and I don't remember the name off the top of my head. But he was the only real person in it, and he was the star of the movie, basically. You know, at least he drove the story, and you saw him for a full second, and that was it. That was stupid.
All right, this is maybe a controversial thing to say, but is Caddyshack even that good of a movie?
Some people love Caddy. There are people who Caddyshack is the Willow to them. So, just so you know.
So the worst movie ever made, you're saying?
Oh, wow.
You sent Todd into a coughing fit.
No, you made me choke on my cough drop. Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
I don't know.
People love
I get Caddyshack, but I
did like Caddyshack, and I put Caddyshack in...
Michael O'Keefe. That's the dude. Michael O'Keefe.
I put Caddyshack in that space with, like, Happy Gilmore, not because it's a golf movie, but also, like, where there's enough good stuff in it that's really funny that you can just bypass all the other stuff, and you can remember it for all the good stuff.
But you know who loves that movie? Like, sort of the normal dude who loves to play football, loves to watch football, plays golf, and is kind of a tool. That's their favorite comedy.
So it's the opposite. It's the guy that's the opposite of me.
Exactly.
Mirror
They
image
love
of me.
that movie.
All right.
I remember when I was first starting in the sales business, the phrase "be the ball" was said so many times. Geez, I don't know how to get this sale done. Just be the ball. That's what that would be your. Let's go for a couple of drinks and just be the ball. That's what you would get from these freaking tools.
I had a boss that used to say, what the hell was his dopey expression? Forget it. It was some dopey sports expression that never made any sense to me. So
yeah, well, that's what. So what else? So Miles Teller and his wife in that Bud Light where they're dancing around to hold music. That was just stupid.
Yeah, but she was at least good to look at.
Yeah, but like, dude, you were in good movies, Maverick, and you were in that Whiplash, and you're doing this dopey shit.
I did find the Infinity commercial on the moon kind of funny.
You hate that company.
I know that. I'm admitting that. I'm admitting that,
unnameless.
and I'm saying I found that kind of fun. You know, the whole idea that these guys are basically NPCs, and they're So
let's see what else we got.
Okay, never need to see the E-Trade kid again. The E-Trade baby thing creeps
didn't
me
even
out.
watch that
Always
one.
does. Always will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that. It was creepy. The T-Mobile with John Travolta in the play on Summer
Not
Nights
ready.
was
Not ready to go there. Just saying.
It's horrible.
Nope. Too soon, and he should have known that.
Yeah.
It's just
that was
that
somebody
made me
paid him,
sad. That thing
yeah,
that scene
that was
made me sad.
Horrible. It was really horrible.
And John Travolta has had an amazing career where he had a career early on, and then he kind of went away, and then he kind of came back even bigger than ever, and then he kind of went away, and I don't think we need him to come back a third time.
Could he have done that before she passed away? Do they do that stuff that far in advance?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Okay. So that might. It just seemed like it just felt like in poor taste.
And like Zach Braff and that other dude.
Oh, those two
who
guys
was
from
that?
Scrubs that like
Is
do
that
everything
who
together.
That was? I didn't even. That made no sense.
And John Travolta just looks weird with no hair.
Yeah. What else did I hate? Something with Melissa McCarthy. I don't know
Yeah,
what it was,
that's
and I
it.
don't-
And
I
it
hate
just-
everything with Melissa McCarthy, so yeah, this was no different.
Nick Jonas was in a commercial for I have no freaking idea what it was.
Yeah, you're right. He was in a commercial.
I don't know what it was for, and I watched it again. I still don't know what it's for.
All right. Yeah.
The Uber one with Puffy was a little funny, but it could have been better.
It felt like it went on too long, and it was probably
Yeah,
only
it
a
could have been
30-second commercial,
funnier,
but
I thought.
it went on too long.
I felt like the streaming service or the TV service that I've never heard of before with the bunnies.
Tubi.
Yeah.
Tubi.
That would have been a good commercial like 3 years ago.
They're owned by Fox. That's why they got
felt
that spot.
felt like a 3-year-old Super Bowl commercial.
They claim that got the most buzz on social media.
Of course,
Why, I
they
don't know.
claim that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know who claims that? Fox.
Yeah,
for some reason.
exactly.
Yeah, Fox owns Tubi. They bought it for $400 million, and it's now worth $2 billion. So, Barry, I'm
the
surprised
two
you didn't
dog
mention the
commercials,
Crown Royal with Dave Grohl.
blatantly
What
manipulated.
is he doing?
The fact that he's one of my favorite musicians and he's promoting the thing that I actually drink, which made me happy. But yeah, it was just that was a fun commercial.
And he had a Rush album in there.
Yeah, there was a Rush album in there, which was fantastic.
I don't. Why does he need to do that? I don't understand that.
They paid him, and he probably drinks it or whatever. So he was probably happy to do it.
And then there was Paul Stanley was in that Rockstar.
That
commercial
Rockstar commercial was actually kind of funny. I love
it was
Ozzy
kind of
going
because it is an overused
Oswald,
phrase,
the new employee.
But okay, what was that for?
It was actually for I think it was for a recruitment website.
Yeah, it was.
I thought it was an HR service, but
something
it's
like that.
There's some of these things you just get lost in the stars. Is there anything else here? There was a Paramount Plus thing with Stallone,
which is
a new
really
show coming
just
out.
a continuation of what they've done before, and it's like
it's like all the same characters with now it had one or two extra people thrown into it.
Well, now he's got his Tulsa King, and on Paramount Plus he's going to have a reality series of his the
daughters.
Osbournes.
Yeah,
his daughters are crazy hot. Jesus.
Yeah,
they're all well into their 20s and 30s, I think. And the M&M with the clams, I don't understand that. Why would you do that? It's confusing and stupid.
And I'll be honest, I haven't been following whatever's going on with M&Ms, but I didn't think the M&M commercial was very funny.
That was it. That's the clams.
Yeah.
I didn't. You see, you don't even understand what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
And what were they calling them instead of M&Ms? It was
Maya.
That
Maya
Rudolph.
Maya
Rudolph
really
thing.
like.
Yeah, it was stupid.
There was the Doritos commercial. The triangle thing was kind of funny, but I have no idea who Jack Harlow is. Apparently, he's a big deal.
Yeah, and
I don't know who he is.
But he's no Elton John.
Mm.
Yeah, that was that one. Yeah, for the most part, the commercials just weren't very entertaining.
They were not great.
So,
okay,
and neither was the halftime show. I'm sorry, everybody's raving
special.
about it. Not for me.
Yeah. All right, so the movies. Now, I don't know if I saw all of them. I'll list them all before we comment on them. You tell me if there's something I missed. Flash, Guardians, Dungeons and Dragons, Transformers, Indy, that movie 65. Is there anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
If there was nothing that's worth... Well, was there... Did they show one for the Super Mario movie? I think they might have been.
They did. I don't care about that.
All right, well, some people care about that.
It's a cartoon.
Yeah, I know I like cartoons. I'm going to see that movie when it comes out.
Okay, sorry. Well, you should throw it in there.
I just did.
Was it a good commercial?
It was all right. The trailer is much better than that commercial was.
Todd, I'm going to ask you a direct question. I didn't expect a direct answer. What was the best trailer you saw?
The Flash.
I know.
Oh my God, it kills me. It kills me.
Looks awesome. Did you see the full 2.5 minutes?
Yes.
It looks amazing.
It's like Batman and also with Flash.
But no, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on in that.
And I feel like now we know why they didn't scrap it. I feel like it's the springboard for a million things, or it's just...
And that is the
so much
Supergirl
wrapped up in that.
They're going ahead with. And, I mean, I think that, there's just a lot happening there. The other thing is this is an opportunity to reset the universe. So I think they're gonna work off that big time.
Well, and yeah, I'm with you, David. I think after seeing the trailer, they were right not to scrap this movie. But I think that they're doing a good job of keeping Ezra Miller under wraps as well.
But even again, we only saw the clip. The kid is playing a bunch of different roles. I liked him as the Flash in the other movies. If they keep him under control,
and I
think all his stuff happened.
I hate to be the guy. I don't think we're supposed to call them him.
Oh, them. Sorry. No offense. I mean, whatever. But I think they look good in it. I think.
Okay, so this is where this becomes. There's two of him. So what do you call somebody who goes by they when there's two of them? You say both of them?
It's like they. Octopi.
Okay. I'm sorry. It was a dumb idea to go with they.
They should have come up with they should have come up with something else.
They
Yes.
should.
But anyway, that's
in any case,
that's a different podcast.
I'm just
taking all of that out of it. It looks like it's going to be a great movie.
But when you have
they look good in it. They play multiple roles. You got Supergirl in it, who looks cool. You got Ben Affleck. You got Michael Keaton. You got the Batcave. You got Zod. There's a lot going on.
I was not expecting to see Zod in there.
Yeah,
they really put out. I mean, James Gunn, who I think we now trust, claims it's the greatest superhero movie ever made, and it very well could be.
And what saddens me because
I am shot where he's trying to take a selfie with him and Supergirl.
Oh yeah.
But even this funny stuff, he's like, yeah, I'm Batman. Michael Keaton delivers the I'm Batman better than any other I'm Batman.
Yep.
It's just and with just the right amount of this is stupid, but I'm saying it anyway. I'm Batman.
And what kind of makes me sad is, I'm not somebody that hates the Snyderverse. I actually kind of like a lot of elements of the Snyderverse. I don't like every movie in it, but like seeing Zod in there again and seeing it actually just makes me a little sad that we might see this great movie that pulls in elements of all that stuff, and we know it's all going away.
But all that was in the past anyway. I mean, Zod's dead, right? Isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's dead.
He's dead. Yeah.
So you're getting one last chance at him.
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
It looks great. No arguments here.
I feel like, I don't know.
As I texted when I saw it, I don't want to be excited for this film. I truly don't want my expectations to be raised for this film, but god damn, it looked good.
We have to see it together and then have like a therapy session.
Oh, we totally should do that
afterwards.
When it comes out, when in June?
June something.
All right, we should try to coordinate that. All right, so outside of Flash, obviously we saw the new latest greatest Guardians trailer, which, damn, that movie looks really good too.
It really does.
I feel like, and it does. I feel like it's going to be a tearjerker. I feel like they're really going to go places that.
Oh, that scene with the shot of Star-Lord losing his shit. That's been in the previous trailer too, but I don't necessarily think of Chris Pratt as a great emotional actor. Like, he's a great comedic actor, but he looks like he is being torn apart in that scene. He just looks great.
You got to see him in Terminal List. He definitely does some heavy stuff.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
I feel like I do not look forward to who they're going to take out. And it's, honestly, I could live with Drax. I don't know if I could live with anybody else. If it's Rocket, I'm going to freaking lose it.
That scene, and it's scene where they're saying to Star-Lord that he's describing Nebula. Like,
yeah.
Oh, the woman you're in love with, sounds like you're describing her. It's just hilarious.
Do you think Chris Star-Lord could not make it?
I think it's possible.
It's gonna be a heavy.
They have taken other big players off the table, so it's not like it's not a Marvel thing to take out big players.
It is,
but I don't know
not
why
inconceivable that Rocket, Groot, and Mantis could be the only ones to walk away from this.
Well, Groot can walk away no matter what. All you need is a stick.
You just need a planter.
But I mean, the thing is, I don't feel like we saw Iron Man coming the way I know we feel like there's something coming here. I mean, I cried. Freaking Iron Man died for sure. But I'm already anticipating just not good stuff.
Yep.
That's gonna be
tricky.
All right, so the Indy 30-second commercial.
Here's another. Well, they can't take Indy out because he's that old man in that freaking young Indiana Jones. I was thinking about that after I watched Guardians. I'm like, why are they going to kill Indiana Jones?
They can't
too?
kill him.
They can't
kill him.
They can't. Though they excised those scenes. When they re-released the only time we saw old Indiana Jones, one-eye Indiana Jones, was when it was aired on TV. When they released them on DVD, they cut those scenes out.
Is that true?
That is true.
I think that's the only place I did see them.
It is the only place you could ever have seen them. It was on TV. He was in the beginning of one. He was in The Mystery of the Blues. Okay? And Harrison Ford was. That stayed. Yeah. But the setup piece with Old Indy in 4 of the other episodes was excised from
He was in 4? He was in front of 4 of the other episodes?
4 of the other episodes. And those were trimmed off.
Let me tell you something. Me and Mark rewatched those. They don't hold up at all.
Yeah.
Some of them are just awful. But, anyway, it's nothing we haven't seen, but...
There was some new footage in that 30-second spot. It all looked good.
Oh, the thing with the woman hanging from
I'm still hoping it's not time travel, although it really, really, really feels like time travel.
Does it? That's what someone on our text chain said. Oh, it's definitely time travel. I don't know. Was that Daryl or was that one of you guys?
I think it was Brian.
I didn't get that from this trailer. How was it time travel?
They're showing us all these different time periods, and it feels like either there's a lot of flashbacks or he's somehow
I think there were flashbacks to him and Mads Mikkelsen, and he's saying, are you still a Nazi? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be time travel. And if it is time travel, I just hope it's done in a way that I don't feel like it shouldn't have been time travel. But
there you go.
I think it's not quite time travel, but I think it's something similar. I think the Dial of Destiny changed events in the past. So I think they're trying to keep the past from. I think they're trying to keep the past from being rewritten, or something like that.
Do the Nazis have?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of that. The boys from Brazil. Not that it was time travel, but the Nazis trying to resurrect themselves.
That's recreating. I'm saying this would actually allow them to rewrite history.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm a little trepidatious about that movie. I hope it's good.
Somebody was saying that they just read that they went back and did some last minute reshoots.
Oh, that's a bad sign.
Well, they do that on every movie. But,
I know.
But somebody was saying, what if it's to squeeze in a scene with Short Round? Like, wouldn't that be awesome?
Oh, that'd be great. Even though that freaking movie he was in is a piece of shit. That would be great.
He was great. Yep.
I would love it if he just cameos somewhere.
Imagine they did that after. But, that one picture of them, really, everyone loved that.
Yeah. It got
that would be funny as hell.
I watched an interview with him on YouTube the other day, talking about that day when he got to meet Harrison and how much it meant to him and everything. He's just great to watch. I mean, putting aside that movie, which was hard to watch, he's great to watch in an interview.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Transformers did not do anything for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I can. I do think that movie 65 is kind of interesting in a premise, but I don't know how good it will be in reality.
Oh, you know what other commercial we didn't talk about that also kind of sucked was the Adam Driver commercial.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know what that was for or what that was about.
It was weird.
Because I thought it was the movie, the 65.
I thought it was that too, but then it wasn't.
I said, Pam, this movie looks cool. Let's watch it. And she's like, and I'm like, this isn't it. But the idea of him, the 65 is about, he goes on a space mission and winds up back in 65
dinosaurs,
years past.
Yeah.
That could be cool. Anyway. Okie dokie. Wow, we're going a long time. So that's the Super Bowl. Let us know your favorites. We all, or most of us, did as we were supposed to and watched the first episode.
I believe at least was said. At least.
The Last of Us. Todd, who was home sick, just binged it. So.
Yeah.
But there's only, what is there, 6 episodes out now?
5.
I keep on calling it This Is Us. It's not This Is
Us. No, that's a different show.
This Is Us with zombies would be great.
Yeah, we talked about that before. We were going to call it This Was Us.
Yeah.
So basically, the Mandalorian,
watching it.
The Mandalorian, Olivia Dunham from Fringe, and Lyanna Mormont.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the woman from Fringe.
Game of Thrones.
I didn't know that. Realize that.
Yeah. Set off together. So.
So I know, Todd, you were texting with us just saying, questioning whether there's just zombie fatigue and is this really going to be, popular. I think there's no question it's popular because everybody's talking about it.
That is interesting because I do think everyone's sort of over Walking Dead, and interestingly enough, a lot of the people I know who were saying it's good and watch it weren't watching Walking Dead.
Yeah,
still.
This is like the water cooler show right now. Everybody's
This
talking
is like
about
the normals. You're into it.
I will say this is a lot more like something else than Walking Dead. So this is
because you asked this question: are we ready to watch something that's go back to zombies? And honestly, the first spoilers. I don't know if there's spoilers or not, whatever. But if there are, be warned. To me, the first half of it, I was like, I can't. The zombies are coming and people are dying and blah blah blah. I just wasn't ready for that. And then I guess partially because of the pandemic, and then it shifts to something else, which is we're in the apocalypse and it's sort of a mission. And I was ready to say I'm not watching anymore, but that sort of second half was like, this is interesting. Where are we going with this?
I also felt like, and again, I've only watched the one episode. The zombies didn't seem like they were the focus of it. They're clearly there, right? And I actually liked their interpretation of the zombies because they were not like any zombies we've ever really seen
like
before.
The fungus zombies.
They're the fast move. I mean, again, spoilers, but again, I've only seen the first episode, so I don't know how much I can spoil. But that woman who was clearly, I won't say bedridden, she couldn't walk, right? She couldn't. She was catatonic essentially. And then she gets, infected with whatever this is, and all of a sudden she's running and chasing people and killing people. Like that was interesting to me. That was different than the zombies that we'd kind of always seen that are just kind of lumbering around, and if they get you, they can get you. But they were chasing people, and I thought that was kind of a cool.
I read it once. I got to the point where nothing was going to be spoiled. I read a little bit about this. They have a mandate on set that you can't use the Z word. That these are referred to as the infected. No one says zombies.
Walking Dead had that too.
Right.
They weren't allowed to use zombies.
They do not want. They just. It's not. It's not a zombie thing. It is.
Well, the first half hour totally was, and I wasn't prepared. I wasn't looking to get involved in another thing where people are biting and eating other people. I'm over that.
Yeah.
But even with Walking Dead, I never liked that part of it, although people got taken out, but the whole rebuilding from an apocalypse always found, was interesting.
And I'm with you. Obviously Todd's seen a lot more of it, so he'll know if what I'm about to say is right or wrong. But if it focuses more on the mission and the zombies are just another obstacle that they have to deal with, that might be more interesting for me than if it's.
I get
zombie
more.
Apocalypse.
I get far more Children of Men from this than I get Walking Dead.
Okay, good. That's good.
And
I'll probably keep watching it. I just didn't want
Dave,
it to be.
you want to keep watching? I got to tell you, I think this is the best thing that I'm watching right now, and it gets progressively better. It's better written than Walking Dead ever was. It's better filmed and made than Walking Dead ever was, and it's very, very cinematic. I got to tell you that it was eerie for me watching them in the second and third episodes, primarily the second episode, being places in Boston that I know and I have stood, and they recreate it destroyed. Like looking at Faneuil Hall Marketplace, full of corpses, was just, obviously they're taking footage of the actual places and then CGIing it, but it was creepy. And later on we will see other cities that I've been to, and I'm looking at them like, that's what that city looks like. And they do a really good job with it.
HBO is known for spending money.
Oh, yeah,
right?
No,
they will
question.
put the production value in.
The alien invasion show that we watched for too many years.
Something with an F.
Yeah. Anyways, they were supposed to be in Boston
Wiley
for this long. It never looked like Boston. It never looked like they were, in even New England. It was like the trees weren't right, and the geography was wrong. And this, because everything's filmed in Georgia or Canada, and but this just feels right, and they did a really good job with it. I mean, I was watching to begin with, and I'm like, okay, there's no way, he's 37 years old. They had his 37th birthday.
That's when I first started like, what's going on
and it was
here?
again, they didn't establish the time frame, and it was, it was Gulf War veteran on the back of it. I'm like, okay, so there's no way this isn't the present time. This has got to be like the 90s or whatever.
No, they showed
they
the
said
year on screen at the
2003.
beginning. Yeah.
Right. No, but what I'm saying is but then the time, I did not expect the time jump. I expected it to take place in that
Oh, I
era.
see
You
what
know
you're
I
I'm
see what you're
saying?
saying. Yeah, so
Yeah, I
it's
agree with
20
that.
years
Yeah, I
later.
did.
I
right.
didn't realize
That's why I was
they
like,
were
yeah,
gonna-
he's
that's
not
a
that
long
young.
time jump. But as we see, and that episode is bookended by basically, there's kind of the thing with his daughter when they're assaulted by the soldier who ultimately kills his daughter, and then that
Spoiler.
guard who points the gun at the girl, and at the moment that he did, he was just he was back in that moment again, and I thought they did a really good job with that. They didn't just belabor the, I lost my daughter thing over and over again, but you never put something like that behind you. And in that moment, when the guy in uniform pointed the gun at the girl, he was right back there again, and that to me just felt very genuine and very real. His daughter is Thandie Newton's daughter.
Oh, she looks like
Yeah,
her
yeah.
now that you say that.
But I thought it was well made, and it continues to be very, very well made, and I'm super impressed with it. I was so reluctant to watch this.
Yeah, I was too.
I
so.
just was like, I just don't need this again. They'll give you in the next episodes. They'll give you a little bit more explanation of what's happening and why this is happening with some flashbacks.
Okay, good.
And that's
'cause
well done too, because that was one of the
something
things
we never got in Walking Dead.
and that was intentional. But I feel like this kind of works. I love the guys, the two scientists talking at the beginning about a fungal infection and saying, "Oh, that can never happen because the temperature of the Earth would have to rise for that to happen." And it's like, yeah.
Well, just ask the Republicans. That's not happening.
It's interesting because I was reading today, just talking about HBO and how they put the money into these things. They're apparently $100 million in debt from canceling Westworld. They still owe $100 million to the crew and because the contracts that they had, they still have to pay the cast and the
They're
crew.
being paid for another season.
Yeah, so they're not, by not producing the final season, they're still spending over $100 million.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Could they pay us because we didn't know what the hell was going on?
Yeah, they should pay us for our pain and
Like,
suffering.
Because
damages?
I watched more of it than you guys did. So
Yeah, exactly.
And I need reparations because I didn't know what was going on. Anyway, okay. Last of Us, watch it. We'll come back in.
we'll
do
come
we know
back.
how
as
many
we-
episodes
as we
it is?
further down, again, I very highly recommend it, and like I said, I went in really not wanting to like it.
I have a
suggested
feeling I'm
we
going to
watch
wait
an
until
episode.
it's all done so that I can just binge the rest of it and not watch
I
any
like
more
the
of it.
week-
There's
weekly
enough
watching.
at this point. It's only 9 episodes, so there's enough that you can catch up, wait a few weeks, and then finish it. I'll tell you, Barry, there's a lot. If you binge this, it's going to be pretty heavy.
Yeah.
I would take this in pieces.
It might need. I might need to space it out.
You might need some processing time.
I did finish the National Treasure show on Disney Plus.
Oh, you watched that?
Yeah.
Is it any good? I heard it wasn't good.
That's all right.
I heard it was not.
I haven't started that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a quick what's in the box.
Show you with the box. Who's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Regular Joe's What's in the Box.
Todd, what's in the box?
Okay, so I told you about these. I'm holding up little plastic clips that I bought on eBay. You can get these from a number of different sellers. If you have Detolf cabinets that you have your collectibles in, these are the coolest things ever. They're 3D printed. They come with screws and nuts. These allow you to position the shelves anywhere within that cabinet that you want. So if, for instance, you've bought a Hot Toys figure that's taller than 14 inches, like, for instance, Thanos.
Groot or Thanos or something like that.
And you want to have that. You don't want to sacrifice 2 shelves in order to display him. I made a 4-shelf unit into a really cool 3-shelf unit with a couple of these clips that were super inexpensive. You can also go on Thingiverse and find them for free and print them out, and then find the screws. Honestly, spend the $10 and get the set of 12.
That's a good idea because I did that and I went through I built a much too elaborate situation to
I
move
did
a
it
shelf.
with wire one time. I did it with pieces of coat hanger one time. I made little suspended things. This was so easy, and it works so well. And the two different ways I did it were very hard to level. These are super easy to level. Good. Yeah. So, again, really, really nice. And I put a cool display together with some things that would have been previously very hard to display. So anyways, yeah.
Cool.
Barry,
That's
what
cool.
do you got?
So this is a standard Luke Skywalker Bespin vintage figure from 1980. This is not what I got in the box this week, but I just wanted to show this so that when I show you this by comparison, this is one I did just get. It's hard for you to see. Let me shut this light off. Hang on 1 second. So
What's with his other hand?
he's got dark hair. This one has light hair.
Oh, the dark haired.
Oh, yeah.
The dark-haired one is a variation that is much less common. So in my hunt for major variations, this has been one that's been on my list for quite a while. And I found one in good condition at a decent price. I wouldn't say it was a steal, but it was a decent price, so I grabbed it. So that's what I got. It's just a different hair color, but same
he's
exact
holding
figure.
those don't have the telescoping.
No. These have a lightsaber that he actually holds in his hand. I have the lightsaber for this guy. I just don't have it in his hand.
And
right
still yellow. Like
now.
seriously?
it's the whole thing is yellow, even the handle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's just a variation figure with the dark hair.
That's cool. Yeah, I've heard of that.
I have
variation.
the Luke Skywalker from the first movie, both hair variations. So now I have this one. There's apparently an orange hair variation for the Farm Boy Luke that is now. For years I've seen them and could have bought them, and now they go for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So I'll probably never own it. But
Yeah, it's just a mistake.
They're all
they
mistakes.
just
Just
changed
like
at some point in the run. They changed the color of the paint they were using, and years later, people are discovering that there are variations.
I can see the difference between those two. I mean, they did the same thing in the 12-inch Hasbro figures. They went back and forth between the yellow and the brown.
Yeah.
But to do orange, that's just weird.
Yeah, it was probably a mistake, but
a mistake, and a couple hundred got out, and there you go.
Right. Or a couple. Or tens of thousands, because back then they were running so many that you make a mistake in a day, you've run 10,000 figures or whatever.
That's probably true too.
It could also be: do you stop the line when you're out of one color? Maybe you don't.
And back then, these were just kids' toys that were selling for $2 a piece. Did anybody really care?
Yep.
But we care now. So, Dave, what's in the box?
Okay, this I've ordered a while ago, and I have not taken it in a box. I'm going to do it live. This is the Mezco 112 scale alien figure.
Oh, sweet.
nice.
So this is a xenomorph.
Yes.
Okay.
I just got this from Fanboy Collectibles, and I haven't opened it, but I will take it out and show it to you. You can't really see it there.
Oh, that's
awesome. Yeah, it's cool. I have a couple different aliens. It comes with a bunch of hands. Ooh, he's very rubbery. Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, wow.
Very flexible. A lot of articulation. I have one like this. It's a little bigger, but it always fell apart. This is cool. This is all, the body's all rubbery, and
that is really cool.
are
I have a 1/6
really
scale.
tight.
I have the Hot Toys one, and then I've got some smaller ones, but
Tail's got
not
a
quite
wire
that
in it.
size. That's great.
That's a good size. Yeah, I've got the Hot Toys one, but that one looks like it's a more displayable.
Are they doing other?
This is cool. What
Are they doing other Mezco? Are they doing
I don't know.
other
This is
aliens?
the only one that I think I saw. There's a bunch of tongues. That I guess you can replace the tongue.
Boy, I think it would be really cool to build like a Colonial Marines unit in that scale.
That would be great.
And
this is the only one I think they've come out with.
Because I wouldn't want to do all those in Hot Toys, but how cool would that be to have like 5 soldiers and a couple?
Oh, there's
of
a bunch of. Oh boy, there's a bunch of accessories. Excuse. Oh, it was easy.
Is this your first Mezco other than a Star Trek? You got a Star
I
Trek.
have a couple Star Trek ones. Yeah, that's about it.
Yep.
So there's closed and open eggs. There's the miniature.
Oh, the chest burster and the
Yep.
face huggers and all that.
Chest burster, that's face hugger. A couple versions of the face
Nice
hugger. Base. It's a plastic bag for some reason. I don't know what that's all about.
That looks like it comes with a lot. I mean, I know that those run usually around $100, but you get a lot with it.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good for. And it is a
Something
good
that
scale. It shows
yeah.
you
That's a good scale.
interchangeable mouths, hinge, jaw, front chest plate is removable, interchangeable with alternate pierced. I don't even know where that is. You could switch out the chest plate. I don't think I have the extra one. Anyway, so that's a pretty cool. Yeah, it looks good. And the head's clear. Oh, you can see
That's
it right
nice.
there. Yeah, they did a nice job with that.
Looks good.
Yeah, so that's what's in the box. Okay, so next week we got a lot going on. We got Picard, we got Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Quantumanium, or whatever the hell it's called. We may have more of what's in the boxes. We have been told there's a bunch of stuff coming.
Oh yeah.
We may end up needing to do an entire What's in the Box episode.
Yeah.
Given how much stuff we all have coming.
Yep.
So
Well, here's the other chest. I don't know what that's all about, but so tell us if you're watching Last of Us or Super Bowl ads or whatever. Watch Picard. Go see. There will be spoilers, so watch that stuff. We're not waiting for you. All right.
exactly.
And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.